Yeah.
Anything, opening comments, and then we'll go to questions. Start with you, Em.
Uh, no, I can't. Uh, what a game. I don't know.
That's
You could
it.
just
Fun.
take questions. Yeah.
Cool. First question. Front row, Jeff Carlisle.
Uh, Congratulations. Question for each of you. Emily, describe that block. That was a key point in the game. And then Rose, just tell me how the play opened up for you on the goal.
Okay, I'll start with the block. They had a great play. They kind of opened up a little bit in the second half, and I felt that was the best way to take almost every angle away. And thank God it worked, kind of thing. I think that there was a few teammates around to help just in case, but yeah, I kind of just like pulled that one out, which I'm thankful that it worked out.
I feel similar. Like, thank God that mine worked out as well.
Yeah.
Bruna did all the heavy lifting and then she just slotted across, and thank God that worked out.
We'll go all the way back corner here.
Grant with the Into the Channel podcast. So it seemed like the high press was very effective, especially in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the match. Can you talk about whether there was a focus on that and what you liked about that look early?
Yeah, working all week on how we wanted to set up, it was pretty clear that we had a plan. I think you're right. The first 15 minutes, they didn't really have an answer for it. I think they took a lot of time trying to process where they should be playing the ball. I think that gives a lot of credit to our midfield having to do kind of like one or two jobs. But overall, it stuck to the game plan, and definitely the first 10, 15 minutes had them.
All right, we're gonna go Tamara, then Sandra.
Congratulations. Um, we talked to Emma Hayes for a little bit before the game, and she was saying that though she's not super familiar with the playoff structure of soccer,
Sure.
she did think that she did think that Gotham and Spirit was the matchup that made the most sense, having followed the season. I'm curious. I know you guys were on the other side when Gotham won in 2023, but given that that team also started as a bottom seed, you know, the upsets, the underdog my ass, it looked like a really like chirpy match. Is there a sense that this team feels kind of like a villain of the NWSL, or like a win like this again could be the beginning of like a villainous arc for this team?
Whoa. I don't uh I don't know. I keep saying I think we all know that we like underperformed, especially at the end of the season. Um Yeah, I think that was not the end that we wanted to have. So I think going into this season, like we just were so confident in the group that we had. I think we know we have a lot of talent, and so I think we really leaned on that this playoff series, and I think that's what we saw, and that's what ended up helping us win.
Perfect.
Sandra.
Yeah. Rose, you've won a few things: World Cup, Olympic gold medal. You've been one of those generations of players who came into the league as it was kind of finally finding its footing, and now it's expanding. And for some reason, this trophies and this game is one that you maybe haven't happened to find yourself in before prior to 2023. Now that you've got back here again, you've won this title. How does it feel? Where does it rank for you? Maybe this feeling of winning an NWSL title.
Oh my gosh. I think it's just so special. I keep saying like this was such a roller coaster of a season for us. I think we had injuries, we had a really daunting schedule with the amount of games that we were playing, the travel. And I think just like the way that every single individual stepped up in the moments that they were asked to was like so huge. And so I always say I think you learn the most about yourself in the toughest moments. And so I think the adversity that we faced throughout the season really helped set us up to be prepared for this playoff push. And I think that that's really what set us up to like win in the end is we went through a lot in the season. We had seen it all. So I don't think anything felt like new or unfamiliar going into this. And I think that that was a really big advantage for us going into the playoffs.
Thank you. We're gonna go to the computer. Jason Anderson.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Cool. Congrats to you both. Thanks for speaking with us. I just wanted to ask about in possession, out of possession, it seemed like you were able to really deny them access to their 10s throughout the match. Obviously, the pressing phase you've already discussed, but how were you able to do that when the press wasn't on and you couldn't just deny them by keeping the ball further away from them?
I think something that we've been working on and it hasn't been the best all year. Really nailing down our defensive shape for the game. We did it a little bit different today and being able to nullify their 10s and the times that we didn't, how compact we could be. I think I have probably the best view to help whether or not the midfield's too high or not high enough. I think there's a lot of credit when things didn't go well. We still try to get a press on because we knew that would probably hurt them or make them play in a way that we wanted them to play.
Thank you. Jeff Soof.
I just wondering the 5 minutes or so before that goal, Hal Hirschfeld goes down and they're playing with 10 and it looked like they were trying to figure out what to do. Did you all recognize that? Did it shift anything in that moment for taking advantage of that opportunity?
I was kind of saying they're playing with a man down, so you can kind of go more of like a man to man or be a little bit more aggressive, but that's probably all we really did.
Okay, right here in front of Jeff.
This is for either of you. Midge was talking about after the game that as much as like the celebration inside the locker room was about excitement, it was also this feeling of peace that all the hard work that you put in, all the ups and downs, like you feel vindicated that it wasn't just for nothing, but wasn't just for second place, that you guys got what you really wanted. I guess, do you resonate with that?
Yeah, I think just echoing this is like by far we have so much talent on this team and we underperformed. So to be able to have that, I think I sound like a broken record, but being able to have that reset going into the postseason, it was huge for us. Kind of putting that aside, what's our next action? What's our next game? What's our next game plan? Because I mean, the games were not easy making it to the final, and we really had to hone in as a group. And I think that's something that the postseason, a lot of teams that I've been on, that you can really reset as a group. So I think the feeling after is kind of like, yeah, it does feel like kind of like at peace. It finally feels like we started putting a lot of things or peaking, I guess, at the right time.
Thank you. We're going to do one more in the room and one more on the computer, unless someone has a desperate question.
Marco Ucala, Rich Berry, Sports Wrap. Rose, you mentioned to me on Thursday how this was the only championship you hadn't won yet. Now that you have it, did you envision yourself as being the game-winning goal and having the hero, being the hero of the game tonight?
I always thought that could be an option today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like maybe the one moment I had in the game to like step up, and I keep saying I think Bruna did the heavy lifting on that, but yeah, it was a great ball across the box, and luckily I was able to get there to finish, but yeah, it was fun.
All right, Sean Hartnett, thanks for being patient.
Hi, Emily. Obviously, throughout a season, there are injuries and tests that the team faces. Rose wasn't able to be in your earlier championship earlier this season. I know that you had players like Taryn and Tierna who didn't get the opportunity. How important is it that everyone feels a part of this and that the team feels like a family?
Yeah, actually we had our head of medical give us a speech before the game, and he like riled us up. And I think a really big part of it was he was like, the people who don't get to play, the people who are doing their return to play, they have such a big part in having that energy for us. They're there days that's raining and we're not in. They're working their butts off. Their presence is obviously huge. They're pumping us up in the locker room, which I absolutely love. Tierna doesn't show a lot of emotion, but man, is she jumping around right now. And that's the glue, guys. Tierna Davidson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're a huge part, and their work obviously doesn't go unnoticed, and it all ends up coming together as a group for moments like this.
All right,
And just
one
for
last questions in the room.
Yeah, question for Rose. What has it been like being in the Bay Area this week, and what did you think of San Jose as the host site for the championship? Thank you.
I think it's been pretty fun. We got here on Monday. We didn't do like too much just because obviously we were like kind of preparing for something, but yeah, I think the atmosphere was incredible. It was really good vibes, and no notes. We had a lot of fun.